This is my first time. I'm really nervous. I'm lying. So I kind of wanted to always try to do the open mic nights because I always come here with the story and plan that I sit at my laptop and I work on it and I structure it. And then I come up here and I don't feel like I always give the most honest story because I had time to work on it. So as a challenge to myself, I'm here telling a story that I haven't written down, I haven't structured it, and you guys are my victims. So enjoy. Woo. Thank you. So my friend invited me to a trip to Myanmar, and I didn't know what Myanmar was. I knew it used to have a name called Burma, and I knew through National Geographic that the Burmese tiger was a thing. So when he invited me to Myanmar, I just thought there's gonna be jungles and tigers, and I'm gonna fend for myself. But I was excited to do it because he said oh no, the border's lifted up, you can finally go to Myanmar, you can finally see what it's all about. So I thought, it'll be a good experience. Now, Myanmar is not in fact all jungles. As I learned, they do actually have cities. Does anybody know the capital city of Myanmar?
Yangon.
Who said Yangon? I will buy you a beer.
Oh, cool.
In 2024. So we landed in Yangon, and I remember the first thing that I noticed is as a Canadian, I'm very cold centric. Do not touch me if we're in the same bed together. I sleep with an ice cube. I love to be cold. This is not a joke. This is actually my life. No. So the first thing I noticed in Yangon was just that searing heat, and a heat that would stop you from being able to breathe. It was so dry, and I was really struggling as well because they have a lot of old cars in Yangon, and then the air pollution is really thick. But I was also kind of amazed by this old colonial British town. It's kind of a town that the British abandoned, and then it got kind of rebuilt by the Myanmarese people. And I really like the people of Myanmar as well. The one thing I did not like about Yangon is how they do coffee in Southeast Asia. Does anybody know how they do coffee?
They go.
With
put it
egg?
in a plastic bag, and then they put a straw. It's kind of weird, right?
That's not what I had, but that sounds way weird. So they kind of do this coffee sludge. It's part coffee, part condensed milk. And you drink it like it's a Jell-O. So for me, the best part about coffee is it's smooth, you know? You sit there, you sip it, you can feel it go through your system, you get that caffeine hit, and you're yes, I'm ready. But this coffee is you struggle, you have to without a better word, you have to deep throat it, essentially. And it's been after 2 or 3 days of this that I thought enough is enough. I just want to get a normal Western coffee. And just as I was saying this, I walked up to my friend who was all excited about being in Yangon. I'm this is really fun, but can we just try to find somewhere, anywhere, where they'll serve us just a regular cappuccino? And then just as we were saying this, there was this knockoff Starbucks at the corner. And I was oh man, amazing, great. So we go there, and my friend has vantage points to the kitchen, and the rest of us are kind of sitting around, and there's 4 of us in total. I order a cappuccino, my friend's oh, he's gonna get a cappuccino, I'll get a latte, and then his wife gets a latte as well. And while we're ordering these milk drinks, my friend says, who's been around Southeast Asia, he knows the scene, he's oh, I'll just have an espresso. And while we're ordering our milk-based products, this guy's looking into the kitchen, and he can see the milk carton sitting on the counter. Now, I don't know if I have to tell you guys what happens when milk sits in heat for a really long time. Funny enough, I didn't taste it when I was drinking the cappuccino. I was just drinking the cappuccino, and I was oh my god, real coffee, bring me back to life. I was so happy. But then it was kind of about when we got back to our hotel room that the world started spinning, and I started feeling really kind of warm, like the story before. And it was a couple moments later when my friend and myself and 2 other friends were fighting over the bathroom. It had hit my stomach in the worst way possible. And I remember that I had such intense cramp pains that I was lying on this couch in this hotel room and we were like timing each other for slots to use the bathroom. Like, we'd be like, okay, everyone gets 30 seconds of toilet time, and then we swap out. But then it was like, no, I need 10 seconds. Like, it became like a stock market, I kid you not. Like, I got 10 seconds for the toilet, I'll take it. Meanwhile, my one friend who had the espresso is like, oh, you guys, I think, how'd you get so sick? Like, you didn't eat anything yet. And he's getting kind of bored with our like whining and complaining and gut wrenching and smells and things that are coming out and in and over and on. And it was very, very, from all orifices possible. He's like, oh, I'll just go get some food. So he comes back later with street sauté. And it's like a pungent aroma, and he like wants to check up on me. So he sits down on the couch with the street sauté, and he's like, oh, like, hey Phil, how you doing? And all I can do is like these intense smells are doing nothing but making my stomach think like, oh, you're gonna eat now? Well, actually we're sick. So that 10 seconds had to become 5 seconds. Now this friend is like, he's eating, he's feeling good. He's like, okay guys, time to get on the bus, we're gonna go to Kalal. And Kalal is kind of like up into the mountains. And we were gonna stay on this little farmstead, and we were gonna trek from Kalal all the way down to Inle Lake, which is like 2 days of trekking in the mountains, which is amazing. But not something you want to do when you're kind of going through these stomach motions. But I don't want to be the one who spoils the journey, so I try my best to like just drink some water and get ready to go on this bus. And I remember that on that bus, like I thought I was legitimately going to die. I was so sick, my stomach was turning, but now there wasn't a toilet anymore. And I didn't know what to do, because for the first half of the day, everything was kind of just flowing out of me, and now I had to find a way to hold it in. And honestly, I got abs from it. They're gone now, but I had them at one point in time. And I'm sitting on this bus, and I remember we're going up this mountain pass, and it's nighttime. And to make things worse, this bus is on about a narrow little path that takes the entire width of the bus, and the bus is going like this. It's shaking back and forth. And then it starts raining. It starts pouring rain, and it starts thundering, and I'm sitting on this bus, holding in my gut, like curled into a ball, feeling myself rock back and forth, having nausea, having all these effects, and I thought, this is it. This is honestly how I'm going to die. At any moment, this bus is going to slip off this road, and it's going to roll down all the way down the mountain, and I'm going to crash at the base, and that's it. It's over. And I'm okay with it. Because it ends the suffering, right? Like, it has been such an awful day that I was totally ready. And then we get to Kalal, and the bus stops, and I step off the bus, and we are just before the wee hours of the morning. It's dark, and we're in this city, and I'm starting to feel a bit better. I've been drinking like Diet Sprite, which has been helping, and I've been drinking rice water as well, so I'm starting to feel a bit better. And we kind of have to walk through this dark village until we get to where the farmstead is. And by the time we get to the farmstead, I remember that's actually when the sun started to rise, because it was that early in the morning. And I remember looking at it and thinking, isn't it funny? Thank you.